Hello, my name is Gina, and my research project is on assessing the effects of installing solar panels in communities like Oak Ridge, Tennessee. So, when I first started, I observed that there were actually 5 US cities that were completely run on renewable energy. These 5 cities, there are actually a lot more US communities that were to some extent, to some amount, powered by renewable energy, but these were the ones that were entirely powered by renewable energy. And I observed that, as you can see, these are all wind, hydro, wind and hydro. Solar was actually not as much, like wasn't used as much. I also observed that this is the energy sources for the US electricity, and renewable energy actually only makes up 10%. And of that 10% of renewable energies, solar actually only makes up a measly 0.3%. So I want to investigate why solar was at such a low percentage than other renewable energy sources. And I want to see in my communities if it was possible for a community like mine that didn't have the best conditions, like didn't have the most amount of sunlight, did not have the law of winds, if it was still possible if having some kind of renewable energy system installed that would actually be able to allow my community to be completely self-sufficient on renewable energy. I chose to do it on solar panels because solar energy I could it's more readily accessible to me in my community than like finding residents that had like windmills or like dams. So I chose to investigate into solar panels. So to start, what I did was I had to locate a resident in Oak Ridge that had solar panels. There are actually, I think, 506 residents in Oak Ridge that actually do have solar panels, but only two were willing to talk to me, and only one that was willing to disclose their electricity bill information, which was what I based all my extrapolated statistics off of. So actual implementation, it will be very different. It will be off. But this is intended to only just show that there is a potential and that savings are guaranteed by installing solar. And hopefully it'll convince more people to go solar and that there will be more homes to actually collect data from in the future. So after I located that resident, I asked them about the solar panel generation and also their installment cost. After that, I was able to generate a table and also collected data from non-solar homes, about seven, and I created an average of their electricity bills, their cost, usage, their rate. And then after that, using those data, I extrapolated those savings and I also calculated avoid gas emissions, quantifying that to the entire city. So to look, so to start, here is for the solar home. I actually have a barcode at the top of this presentation that will take you to a spreadsheet of like every month, autumn month, like for the solar home. And I want to show you that, you see here, even simply by being a solar home, the rates are very constant. They're only at 10%. And here, so here, as you can see, here the blank bars are actually because this resident installed solar panels in July of 2014, which is why these values are so low. And there was savings when there wasn't solar panels here. So to read this, basically it is for the year of 2017, for example, this much power was used, and then that was the price that they were supposed to be charged. However, their solar panels generate this much power, which their utility company actually paid at a rate of 14%, as you can see, very constant, 14%, which actually gave a deduction of this much off of their original balance. So that means they only have to pay $796. And this was their roughly gas emissions saved. I use a formula given by the Environmental Protection Agency and my mentor to find that. This is, so with that, so looking here at the year of 2019, this is that solar home, and this is the average of all of those non-solar homes. And you can see for most of the year, the solar home actually, their electric costs are way, way lower than a non-solar home. It's only higher here, these points, because it's during the winter and the sunlight hours are a lot less, so their generation is a lot lower than their actual use, than their consumption. So, and also here, from that system, from the solar panel system of that specific person, they actually, here, they actually had a 10 kilowatt system. So this I compiled roughly to give a rough estimate about how much each different system size, solar panel system size, would generate in their solar production or in gas reduction would be. Here is also the pictures of the different types of solar panels depending on for the different residents. So for the city, here's a ground mounted one. One additional thing I want to add was there are actually other costs other than installation. This resident actually chose to change their roofing to metal so that to keep up with the lifespan, the 4-year lifespan of their solar panels. Other thing, how would different homeowners, how they could save more money is you see for this ground mounted solar panel system, there are actually different holes which according to different seasons, the angle of this panel can actually be tilted so that it absorbs the maximum amount of sunlight. Another thing that can factor into the savings is if a home was facing south, then they could actually use less solar panels and they could still save the same amount of money as a home that is not facing south but has to use more solar panels. From the solar home, they roughly in a year, this is the amount of power generated, which is means that $1,878 is saved. So for a non-solar home, they roughly pay around $1,500 a year, and they have about this much energy, this much power consumed. So if you think about it, so if the same house had actually solar panels, this equivalent solar panels as this solar home did, then they would actually be able to save 307, they would actually be able to save that, bring down their cost to negative $378, meaning they don't have to pay any money for their power, and they actually even get $378 in credit for them to use for other purposes. Now, for all homes in Oak Ridge, so using that and extrapolating that to all homes in Oak Ridge, before this is for in a year, all homes in Oak Ridge, this is the amount of power used, and this is how much Oak Ridge actually pays. Like Oak Ridge as a whole, all homes, like the total, this is how much the city of Oak Ridge pays for their electricity bills. Now, if solar panels were actually installed on all homes in Oak Ridge, then those solar panels would generate about this much power, which actually equivalents to about $27 million in savings. So $27 in savings. So if this is the original, like 1 year, this is how much these homes actually do have to actually pay for. With these savings, Oak Ridge, the city of Oak Ridge would not have to pay a single dollar, and they would actually get a credit of $5 million, roughly $5 million that they can actually use. The city of Oak Ridge can actually put for like other purposes, like improving the community on research and other purposes. Also, after having solar panels installed on all homes, the city of Oak Ridge actually could save around 140,650 metric tons of avoided gas emissions. Other communities, not just Oak Ridge, but any community that may not have like the best conditions, it is still possible. They have the potential to become a city completely self-sufficient on renewable energy. Thank you.